Hello students, today we are going to discuss the course of class 7 subject computer, and in that series we will discuss Scratch, a visual programming language. Okay, just see what Scratch can do for us. Scratch is basically a language that will help you to create animations, stories, games. Okay, it is a free block based visual programming language, and it was developed to help and simplify the process of creating and programming animations, games, interactive stories, etc. Means in a simple way you can create animations, you can create stories, you can create games with the help of this programming language without having deep knowledge about programming, how programming works and how to write the programs. You need not to bother about this. Okay, see what is animation. It is a way of making a movie by using a series of drawing or photographs of objects that are slightly different from one another, and that when viewed quickly creates the appearance of movements. Means the collection of photographs with a slight difference, and they are arranged in such a way that when they are being played very quickly, that creates an animation, that creates a movement, and this is animation. Okay. What is the advantage of Scratch? In the first slide I discussed, we do not need to know any particular programming language for block based programming, as we only have to place the blocks in the right order, just similar to a game that is known as the Lego building blocks. There we have some ready-made structures, just we have to reconstruct, we have to reorganize. Okay, components of Scratch screen means when we will start the Scratch screen, the first welcome screen which we will see, we will discuss the component of that welcome screen. See the figure, the first text written on the top of the right side, that is title bar, that blue bar where the name of your project will appear, the name of your script will appear, that is the title bar. And just next to the title bar, sprite toolbar is there. Sprite toolbar, it is a toolbar that will help you to control the sprite, and how it will help we will discuss later. And next to the sprite toolbar we have a label, that is stage, the white area that is known as the stage of this Scratch programming language. And there is one icon on the center of this white screen, and that is known as the sprite. This is the character, this is the icon which will animate, which will work as per our script. Okay, we can change the sprites also. See, just next to the sprite we have an option sprite list. Here the available sprites of this Scratch programming language we can use. Okay, we are coming to the left side. First level is file toolbar. Here we will get all the necessary commands related to the file, open, save, etc. All these commands are here, and this is file toolbar. Next to the file toolbar we have blocks pane. Blocks pane is a place where all the 8 blocks available in the Scratch language are arranged here. Okay. Next to the block pane we have current sprite info pane. Current sprite info pane is the place which gives us information about the current sprite. You see the current sprite, it is an icon of cat. By default any Scratch program starts with this icon, and information of this cat, information about this sprite icon is given here. Hence, what is the position on the screen of this sprite? Okay, whatever the information are required, that is available here. Okay, next to the current sprite info pane, next level is script area. This area, see the red arrow which is indicating to this blank area. This area is known as the script area. Here we can write, means here we can drag and drop the code blocks which will help to create our script. Next to the script area we have one label, blocks palette. Blocks palette, I think this image is clear, so we can see the blue colors, multiple codes, multiple blocks are there, and this is the block palette. Here we have ready to use blocks, means already programmed codes are here in the form of blocks. Just we have to drag here and drag from here, and we have to drop in the script area, and it will work for us. Now we will discuss blocks pane. There are 8 color coded blocks in the Scratch. And what is blocks? Blocks are ready to use program codes that can be rearranged, that can be connected like jigsaw puzzle. Here is an image of jigsaw puzzle. I think all of you are familiar with this jigsaw puzzle. Okay. Next, name of the coded blocks. That 8 coded blocks, they are motion blocks, means one block is responsible for motion of the sprite. Okay. Next, control block. Next, looks block, sensing block, sound block, operator block, pen block, and variables block. All these blocks have different codes, different ready to use code blocks, which we can use by just dragging and dropping into the script area. Now, script area. Script. Before discussing script area, we should know what is script. Script is a collection of blocks that are interlocked with one another for creating animations, stories, and games. Here, code blocks are interlocked, and that interlocked pattern forms one script, because that sprite will behave accordingly our script. So we should know the script. And script is very important to create our animation, create our stories, create our games, whatever we wish to design, whatever we wish to create with the help of Scratch language. So script is very important. Now, script area. What is script area? Script area, it is an area where blocks from the blocks palette are placed to write a script. Just drag and drop. Okay. And we can see one thing. Blocks can be removed from script area. Suppose unfortunately you picked a different block, a different code block which is not required right here. So you can remove that block by just dragging and dropping again inside to the script area. From script area, that can be removed by just dragging and dropping to the blocks palette. Okay. I was browsing this image because just to show how we can remove just from this script area, drag that particular code which is not required there or which is required later, or anyhow if we wish to remove from this script area, just click on that, drag that code and drop into the blocks palette, and that will be removed from our script area. Okay. Now, stage. Because every script which we will use, which we will create, there should be some stage where we will perform that script. Okay. So, if you are able to memorize the first welcome screen, you will be able to correlate that this figure was also there. This figure was the part of that main figure, and here this white particular space is known as the stage and sprite. Okay. Now we will discuss something about this. In this area, our stories, games, and animation is executed. Means whatever the story, whatever the code block we will drop to the script area, that will create one script, and that script will be executed here. Okay. Stage is divided into XY grid, means it is placed on XY coordinates. It is 480 units wide and 360 unit long. Just see this next figure. The sprite is placed on 0, 0 location, and from 0, 0 location we can move 240 240 units to the left and 240 units to the right. 240 left, 240 right, adding it creates 480. So we have 480 units wider space, and same on the y coordinate. From center we can move 180 steps up and 180 steps down, so it creates 360 steps long space, 480 wider and 360 longer. This is the plane, this is the area, this is the stage area where our stage will move, where our stage will perform the, our sprite will perform the animations. Now we can change the view of the stage. The by default stage view we can change. We have 3 buttons. With the help of these 3 buttons we can change. The first button is view mode. First 2 buttons are known as the view mode, and here the script area, the stage size of stage is minimized and maximized, and in the presentation mode only stage is visible and all other areas are hidden. Okay, in presentation mode we can see only our stage area, and in view mode we may adjust the size of our stage. Okay, now stage has 2 more buttons, one to start script and another to stop script. Start script, a green flag button is there to activate the script. I think in figure it is clear, a green flag. We can use this green flag button to start the script. Whatever the code we have written in the script area, just after clicking here, that will get activated, and that will, our sprite will behave accordingly, that according to that code. Now stop script, a red circle button is there to stop all the activated scripts. Whatever the script is activated, we can stop with the help of this icon. Now sprites. Sprites are the characters that is there to perform our animations. Characters that perform animations are called sprites. And another definition of the sprite is a small graphic object that moves independently around the stage, producing animation effect. Means whatever the code we have written in the stage area, sprite is there to perform all the actions, to perform all the steps, perform all the animations. Okay, a new project always starts with a single cat sprite. We may change the sprite, but by default a single cat appears. Now working with the sprite, how to work with the sprite. Okay, how we can work with the sprite. Just a minute. Scratch has a gallery full of different sprites. Means there are lots of sprites in the gallery of Scratch. We may use whatever we wish to use. Okay, we can choose any sprite from this gallery of our project, and if we are not finding any suitable sprite there, we have the option to paint a new sprite also. Means we may use our creativity to create a new sprite. This option is also there, and how to do that we will discuss. But before that, how to browse different sprites available in the gallery and how to create new, all will be discussed under this topic to get more sprites. There are 3 buttons. See the figure clearly. New sprite is written here and 3 icons are there. Every icon contains a star with a different icon. The first icon, in the first icon, star is there with a paintbrush. This icon is used to paint new sprite. Means after clicking here, we have the option to create a new sprite. Second one is there to browse. After clicking there, we can browse the sprites available in the gallery and also available in the computers. Next, get surprise sprite. Means after clicking here, the Scratch language will decide randomly and will use a sprite by their own logic. Randomly it will pick any sprite from the list. one important thing to know, new sprites can also be chosen from the images downloaded from the web. If you don't want to create only by your creativity, only by your thinking, then you have option, then we have option to use the downloaded images also. If we find any attractive image on the net, we can download them, and after downloading them, we can use that image as sprite in our Scratch programming language. Okay, now that image format must be JPG, or JPEG, then BMP, PNG, and GIF. GIF is the image format that is known for animated images. All the formats JPG, BMP, and PNG are still photographs. These formats support still photographs, but GIF supports animated photographs. GIF stands for graphics interchange format. Okay. Now editing a sprite. How we can edit a sprite? There are 4 buttons to edit a sprite. The first button is a stamp tool. It looks like stamp. It is your duplicate button. After clicking here, whatever the sprite we are using, a duplicate of that sprite will appear on the screen. Okay, means where we are creating our sprite, these tools will work there. Okay, so to create duplicates, we should use this option. And next option, a scissor option. This option is there to delete the sprite. Anything if we wish to delete, we have option there to delete this. We have an option to grow sprite, and the next option is shrink sprite. Grow sprite button is used to enhance the size of the sprite which we are using currently, means on which we are editing anything. And the shrink sprite button is used to shrink, means reduce the size of the sprite on which we are working, means on which we are performing edit action. Now create a costume of sprite. As we discussed, we can use any sprite, we can browse from the gallery, we can use downloaded images as sprite, we can also paint new sprites. Although after performing all these actions, we have another option to create costumes for the sprites. And what is costumes and how to create that, we will discuss on the next slides. Dress of sprite is known as costume. As like we have our dresses, in the same way our sprites may also have different dresses. It is totally depending on your creativity. How creative you are, you may create multiple costumes for a single sprite. Okay, so costume is the output of your creativity. A costume is an alternate appearance of sprite. A sprite may appear in different formats. Okay, so costume is an alternate appearance of sprite. So there are 3 ways to create and edit a new costume. Means if we wish to create or we wish to edit the costume, we have 3 options. With the help of these 3 options, we can create or edit the costumes. What are these options? Just wait for the next slide. See this figure. To create or to edit the costumes, first of all, we have to click on costumes tabs, and after clicking on costumes tab, we will get all these 3 options that will help us to create or edit costumes. The first option is paint option, second option is import option, and third option is camera option. What is the function of all these 3 buttons? We will discuss on next slide. 3 ways to create or edit. What are these 3 ways? The first way is paint. It opens the paint editor, and paint editor is used to paint a new sprite. paint a new sprite, and you may also modify existing sprite on this paint editor. Okay, this paint editor is versatile. It helps you to paint a new sprite also, and as well as we may choose from the gallery and we may modify there. Import button helps us to import the sprite from inbuilt costumes gallery. Whatever the costumes we have by default in our gallery of Scratch language, to use that we should use import button. Okay, next one is camera button, and this option is used to open the web camera of your computer, desktop or laptop, whatever the system you are working. If there is any web camera attached, this option will open that web camera to take a picture for new costume. Okay, thanks. The next portion we will discuss in our next slides.